The way I want to approach this book is the way the author wanted us to go through it. He has some instruction how to teach this book. I'll try to follow that pattern. So in the beginning, what we want to do is we want to read these examples. As you know, the style of this book, anything written by these authors, whether al-Nahw al-Wadih or al-Balagha al-Wadiha, their style is very interesting. They will start with some examples, okay, like what we have here. Let me change the color. Okay, now, then they will say al-Bahath, where they will explain the grammar. And the way they explain is very, even if you just read this text, the teacher doesn't have to do anything. The text itself explains everything. So for example, if you have any grammar book or any book, they will say something, then someone has to explain what does it mean, or maybe elaborate a little bit more. But the wording here is, subhanallah, it is just, you can just read out loud or just translate. You will know what you need to know, because this is meant in that way. Okay, so the teacher just has to read this translation. So we'll do that. And then finally, the book will give you al-qawaid. So this is where the grammar issue comes, meaning from this lesson, this is what they want you to take away. So we need to make sure we understand this qawaid. And then we have exercises, and there are lots of them. Now, and this PDF has the answers right after it. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I don't know. I think it's a good thing if you use it properly. So don't look into these exercises when you're doing by yourself. Try as much as you can now, and then check your exercises. Check your answers, and that's a good thing. So during the class, what we'll do, some of the things we'll try to solve, and the filling blanks will probably just go look into the answers and then read it from there. Why? Because my main goal from here is that vocabularies. Okay, we want to study the grammars, of course, but we also want to learn as many or as much as vocabulary as we can. So when we do this, our vocabulary section will be primary from here, the amthila, the examples, and from tamari, from the exercises. But whatever he teaches here, we will not spend so much time with regards to vocabs or the grammar rules. Okay, this is just to explain what's here. Whatever is here, any structure or the grammar rule, these things will come as we study this book. There's no point for me to go here and teach you advanced concepts, which we'll be studying in the book later anyway. Okay, so this is here. What I will do is just simply translate. Now, if you're a little bit intermediate students, you should be, because it's targeted for that audience, and you want to know what this text means word for word. So what I'll do is that I'll try to translate as a word for word. So you have to keep eye on or pay attention what I'm doing and what I'm translating. And then when I post the video, you can go back. And if you need to know how to translate certain things from here or what certain things means, you can find out from my translation. But as you know me, I fear, subhanAllah, I fear that I might sometimes go deep in here and end up explaining things that maybe I don't have to. We'll see. Any questions so far? So let us get started with all these things out of the way. The first lesson, it says, Al-Jumlatul Mufida. Al-Jumlatul Mufida, we can translate, as you know, Mufid means beneficial. If we want to translate word for word, we have to say the beneficial sentence. Naam. But in English, I suppose we say what? We say complete sentence. Okay, in English, when you talk about a sentence, we define whether it's a complete sentence or incomplete sentence. Incomplete sentence is something it's not complete. You need more information in order to get the benefit, the mufid from it. So you can translate literally the beneficial sentence, or you can translate technically, which is the complete sentence. So as I mentioned to you, the author will start with amthila, al-amthila, which are the examples, and then he will explain. And this is why we'll make sure we understand every single word. So we have our vocabularies. We will pay attention to our vocabularies. Now, so it says, Al-Bustanu Jamil. Al-Bustan is a garden. Jamil is beautiful. Very simple sentence structure. I'm targeting for intermediate students. I don't expect anyone having any difficulties here, but I will translate everything. Some of the words meaning I might write it down, something that I feel like everybody should know. I won't write them down. So al-bustanu jamilun, the garden is beautiful. Then you have ash-shamsu tali'atun. So what is tali'atun? What is tali'? Hmm? It comes from the verb tala'a. Naam. What is tala'a? Anybody knows? Tala'a, primary meaning is to rise. Okay, it means to rise. But when something, in the context of here, when we say ash-shamsu tali'atun, that means you can think about it has been risen. Okay, it has been risen. So the sun is risen, meaning it came up. So another meaning from there, because when something comes out, it appears, right? So it becomes apparent. So another meanings that we get from here is to appear. And this is a very good word with regards to sun, because the way we look at the sun, we always think the sun is coming up, it's rising. So it's much better than ظهرت or ظاهرات, ظاهرة, something that is visible. When you say طالعة, it gives us this clue that it's risen up, now it's visible. So this is a very good word. Usually we will use طالعة to describe the shams. Now, why is it tamarbuta here? Why is it feminine? Because you should know the shams we consider as feminine. So we can translate the sun is risen or it's appearing. You do the translation. Then we have Shamma Aliyun Wardatan. Shamma is Shamma Yashummu. Okay. Shamma, you have Yashummu. Yashummu. It means what? To smell. Naam. To smell. So Ali is smelling or smelled. This is the past tense. Wardatan. What is warda? Warda is rose. Now what happens is most of the time, sometimes we interchange warda with another word, zahra. I'm pretty sure we will see this word also, zahra. Now the zahra means flower, but sometimes we say warda to mean flower. So we can interchange. Then we have يعيش السمك في الماء. This is a verb, we just had it in the reading comprehension. عاش يعيش, to live, السمك, the fish, في الماء, in the water. Very simple stuff. يكثر النخيل في مصر. So this comes from كثر. نعم. كثر يكثر. كثر يكثر means to what? Means to be plentiful, to increase. So what is nakhil? Nakhil is from nakhal. What is it? Palm tree. No? Palm. What is the palm? Fi Misr. So that means the palm trees is increasing or becoming plentiful in Egypt. Now, as you know, the name of the country are mamnu' min as-sarf. That's why it's not taking a kasra, instead it is taking a fatha. Inshallah, we'll come back to here. So some of the advanced grammar things we will not mention here, to be honest with you, because that's the whole point of this book. They will teach you everything, inshallah. So now let us read the al-bahath. Al-bahath, it means by itself, it means when you say al-bahath an, it means to search or to do some kind of research. Okay, a research paper can be called al-bahath. Here we can probably translate as a study. That's a good way to translate. Meaning we're studying what's going on here. So the author says there are more than one author. There are, I think, 4 or 5 authors. Says إذا تأملنا التركيب الأول, if we ponder the composition, تركيب, it means the way something is structured. Okay, the order in which something is structured. So we can translate as a composition for now. إذا تأملنا التركيب الأول, if we look into the first composition, which is this one, وجدناه يتركب من كلمتين. We find it يتركب, see, from compose. So that means we can say it is composed of. Now, it is composed of what? من كلمتين, from 2 words. He will tell you, you will see the translation is like, I don't have to do anything. If I talk too much, I will repeat myself because the author will say the same thing, what I am about to say. So that makes a teacher's life a lot easier. All they have to do is translate. So that's what probably I'll be doing. إحداهما البستان. So he said there are 2 words. إحداهما. One of them is البستان. والثانية جميل. And the second one is جميل. نعم. فإذا أخذنا الكلمة الأولى وحدها. So if we take this word, the first word by itself, meaning just get it out from here. Okay, we say bustan. We get it out. What happens? He says, وهي البستان. See, he's telling everything that I need to say, which is the bustan. لم نفهم إلا معنى مفردا. We don't understand anything other than singular meaning. معنى مفردا. Mufrad is a singular, okay, singular meaning, individual meaning. Meaning when we take it out, we just look at al-bustan. Okay, I know what bustan is a garden. So I'm understanding something, but I'm understanding its independent, just a 1 word meaning. What he wants to say, لا يكفي لا يكفي للتخاطب. It is not enough to have a conversation. Takhatub is tahadatha. Same thing as to have a conversation with something. So you randomly have someone in front of you, you just say al-bustan. Nobody knows what's going on. Okay, so this 1 word itself is not enough. وكذلك الحال إذا أخذنا الكلمة الثانية. The same is the situation, حال, إذا أخذنا الكلمة الثانية, if we take the second word وحدها by itself, وهي جميل, which is the جميل. Same thing. If we take the جميل out here, okay, جميل, just randomly call out this word. We know what jamil is, but it is not enough. What the author is saying, it is not enough to have a conversation. ولكننا, but if we إذا ضممنا إحدى الكلمتين إلى الأخرى. So but if we ضممنا, to include, to make one with another one, to bring them together, إحدى الكلمتين, one of the words إلى الأخرى, to the other one. So combine such way. But how? Just random order? No. He's clarifying. على النحو الذي في التركيب. In the order, Nahw, like the way, here Nahw doesn't mean the grammar. على النحو means to the way الذي في التركيب, which is in this composition, meaning you say the bustan first and say the jamil for the second. Where is it? وقلنا, and we say al-bustanu jamil, and we say the first sentence basically al-bustanu jamil. فهمنا معنى كاملا. Now we understand a complete meaning, what we're trying to say. فهمتم? Because it is a sentence, right? It gives us some kind of meaning. واستفدنا فائدة تامة, and we got benefited a complete beneficial. So these two words come from same root. Now, so we got benefited, we sought to have benefited, that means we got benefit from a complete beneficial. So we understand what's going on, what you're trying to say. وهي اتصاف البستان بالجمال. So when we say al-bustanu jamil, when we say al-bustan by itself, we don't know what you mean by the garden. When we say jamil by itself, we don't know what you want to say about beautiful. But when we combine them in this manner, what do we understand? We understand that ittisaf, the description of al-bustan, so describing of the bustan bil jamal, with beauty. So now we are making that this beauty goes to the bustan. That's how we know this is something has to do with mubtada and khabar. Inshallah, we'll study. You know, the mubtada is the subject, and khabar gives a description. Okay, it gives us a description of that subject, mubtada. So that's what he's saying. Very simple Arabic, clear. Even if you translate in English, very, very clear explanation. ولذلك يسمى هذا التركيب, because for that this composition is called جملة مفيدة. It is called a beneficial sentence, or as we mentioned, we can say a complete sentence. Just like in English, we have a complete meaningful sentence here. But if we said a garden or the garden, it is not a complete sentence. وكل واحدة من كلمتين تدل جزءا من هذه الجملة. And every one of these words, okay, remember, sometimes the mean we translate as of, or you can also translate it as among. Every one among these two words, تدل, or what am I reading? تعد, it is counted, or it is we take into consideration as what? جزءا من هذه الجملة, as a part from or part of this sentence. You see, the technical terms are coming. So every one of these words, it is a something, has some kind of part of the sentence. وهكذا يقال في الأمثلة الباقية. So like so, it is said for the rest of the examples. You call, this is a passive form. Makes sense? So what he's trying to say, what he's saying is that we have some structure here. At this level, he knows that you know Arabic language. He's not telling you anything about whether this is a sentence or not. You should know, we talked about how to construct sentence in Medina Book 1 and other beginner classes. So he's expecting you to know that this is a sentence. So now he's starting from that concept. So if you take one word out of this, we don't understand, it doesn't make any sense, or doesn't complete a sentence. But if you combine them in this particular order, al-mubtada and khabar, then we get a complete sentence. وبهذا نرى أن الكلمة وحدها لا تكفي في التخاطب. So like that, with this, we see, nara here is see, not necessarily seeing with eyes, because ra'a, just like in English, the word see, to see something, you can see with your eyes and you can see something with your mind. So to have some kind of understanding. So, so this is a metaphoric here. So with this, we see that the word by itself, لا تكفي في التخاطب. So it is not enough to have a conversation with. وأنه لا بد من كلمتين فأكثر. At that, it is must. لا بد means it must. We had the same word in one of our reading class now. It must, that we need, لا بد mean, that means it must be, we need كلمتين فأكثر. فأكثر means or more. Anytime you see this phrase فأكثر, that means or more. You can say ثلاثة كتب فأكثر, 3 or more books. نعم. حتى يستفيد الإنسان فائدة تامة. So now what we see is that we need 2 or more words in order. Hatta here is coming as the meaning of in order, or hatta can be here also translated as likai. And we'll learn them for sure, the impact of hatta in the sentence. I'm not going to explain what's going on here. In order that yastafida al-insan, the human, the man, like we can get some kind of beneficial. What kind of beneficial? Fa'idatan tama. That means we can benefit a complete sentence, complete meaningful sentence. Amma nahu, as for the examples, here nahu is coming as example. Kum. Okay, kum. What does kum mean? Anybody knows? Huh? Here we have to translate because these are examples. I told you the examples will translate. Kum means stand. And it is what? Command. Naam. Qama yaqumu kum. And ijlis. Sit. Command. Takallam. Speak. Command. So he's going to make a point. Amma nahu, as far as these examples, qum, ijlis, takallam, mimma zahiruhu annahu kalimatun wahida. From what appears from it that this is one word, like meaning kum is one word, ijlis is one word, takallam is one word. Kafiya fit takhatu. So we know that if someone tells me kum, just one word, I understand everything. I'm not waiting for his any more word. That's only one word, and I completely understand what he means. He wants me to stand up, I'll stand up. If someone says ijlis, I know what he means. So it looks like we're getting a complete mimma zahiruhu, from what it appears to be, that we get a complete meaning, okay, by kalimatun wahida, with one word. Now he's going to explain. فَلَيْسَ فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ بِكَلِمَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. Okay, so فَلَيْسَ فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ, in the reality, it is not a one word. When you say qum, in the reality, it's not a one word. إنما هو جملة مركبة من كلمتين. Rather, or verily, it is a sentence which is composed of 2 words. Now you might be confused. I don't see any 2 words. What's going on here? إحداهما, one of them what? ملفوظة, one of them is uttered, something that we spoke, we uttered. One of the words, it is composed of 2 words. He's saying one of them we uttered. وهي قم, which is قم. مثلا, for example, he's using one of the examples. والأخرى, and another one, غير ملفوظة, another one, it is not uttered, it is not pronounced. وهي أنت. So here we have another word which we are not pronouncing it. It is hidden, it is understood. التي يفهمهما السامع من الكلام. So which the listener, السامع, the listener, he يفهمهما, he understands both of these 2 words. When you say قم, he understands both of these words. From the grammatical perspective, if you are standing here, somebody says, sorry, you are sitting here, somebody says قم, from the grammatical way, you know that he means me, anta, because he's not saying qumi, he's not saying qumu, like he's not addressing group of people. So the sami', he understand he means anta, meaning me. So that means the mutakallim, the speaker, he's saying qum anta, you stand up. Okay, so he understand that from the speech. Wa in lam yuntaq biha, wa in lam, even if it is not pronounced. Make sense? Even sometimes, for example, somebody asks you masmuka, you say Okay, somebody asks you Masmuka, and you say Muhammad, and he understand what you mean. How does it work? It's one word. We just said we need more than one word. It is the same concept. It is actually two words, but you are not pronouncing the other one. And the sami', the one who's asking, he understands. So what is the hidden word here? Ismi. Hidden word is what? Hold on. Hidden word is ismi. Okay, ismi. My name is Muhammad. My name is Muhammad. Now, so now we come to al-qawaid, which is the grammatical rules that the author for this chapter, he wants you to make sure you understand. So what does it say? It says التركيب الذي يفيد فائدة تامة, a composition which gives us a complete meaning. I will translate faida as a ma'ana, like meaning. Okay, beneficial but meaning. I like this meaning here. So it gives us a complete meaning. يسمى جملة مفيدة. So if a composition gives us a complete meaning, then it is called a complete sentence. Remember, we are not talking about verbal sentence, nominative sentence. We are not. In fact, we have both type of sentence. The author is very clever to give us both type of sentences. This one is nominative sentence, okay, jumlatun ismiya, and this one is jumlatun fi'liya. This is the verbal sentence. So regardless of what type of sentence it is, if it gives you a complete meaning, we call a jumla mufida. And he says, وَيُسَمَّ أَيْضًا كَلَامًا. So here's the word kalam, which we can translate as speech. So as you can see, what he's saying, there's no difference between a complete sentence and a speech. So a sentence and a speech, he's saying, is the same thing. And that's by and large, it is true. So that's that. And the second thing he wants us to know is al-jumlatul mufida qad tatarakkabu min kalimatain. So the beneficial sentence or the complete sentence, it may, qad with the present tense, it may consist of two words, وقد تتركب من أكثر, or it can be composed of more than two words. وكل كلمة فيها تعد جزءا منها. Okay, so every word in it, in the sentence, it is considered a part of it. So this would be a segue to the next chapter, what he would want to introduce, which are the parts of speech. So makes sense. A very simple thing, honestly, the first chapter, something that you know already. It's nothing fancy going on, but very nice, light introduction and studying of this book. And as you can see, he explains things very nicely. Any questions so far? It should be fairly simple. As I mentioned to you, our main target is to understand what he's saying and try to memorize the qawaid as much as you can. And second, our focus would be to learn as many as vocabularies as we can. Guys, if you're still fooling around with the vocabularies, I don't know what to say. You can spend another 20 years learning Arabic. You will be exactly the same place as you are right now. It is something that everybody has to do, one way or another. In fact, if you just read these sentences, you don't have to read anything. Just read the amthila after the class or whenever you have free time. Just read them, understand the meaning. These words will be in your head, inshallah. So the first exercise, it says, اقرأ الأمثلة السابقة. Read the previous examples. وبين عدد الكلمات في كل مثال. And clarify or indicate the number of words in each of the examples. We'll just do one or two, okay? Because these are fairly simple. As I mentioned to you, we cannot do every single exercises and every single examples of those exercises, no? So he wants to know how many words in here. Remember, right now, he's not being super technical, okay? He's not being super technical, because if we are super technical, How many words we have to say here? If you're being very picky, how many words? Al-bustanu jamilun. Huh? Nobody knows. Two. Okay. So he already explained that we have two words, al-bustan and jamil. But if we want to be super technical, remember kalima, a harf is also, we consider kalima. Now, we said al-harf, it is also what? Kalima. So we should consider alif lam as a separate word, but he's not going to that tangent or that direction right now, right? So he's trying to get a main idea across. So inshallah, you should be able to do them. So qatafa Muhammadun. Did we miss this one by any chance? Subhanallah. I think we missed this example. Anyway, we should translate. Qatafa. What is qatafa? Qatafa means to pick. Pick not you're picking something up. Qatafa has to do with picking a flower, picking a fruits, things like that. Fahmtu? So what is Muhammad is picking Zahra. Here's the Zahra, which is a flower. Qatafa Muhammadun Zahra. So here we have three words. So inshallah, you should be able to do here how many words we can quickly type in. How many words we have in this one? Four. We have Yaishu, Asamak. Yeah, we're not being super picky here. We'll just look into the big words. No, we have four. So we have one, two, three, and four. Now, so that's the first one. التمرين الثاني. Second one. اقرأ الجمل الآتية وبين الكلمات في كل واحدة منها. Our more interest would be the meaning. Okay, so we'll read them and we'll get the meaning. السماء ممطرة. So what is a mumtir? It comes from the word which I think we just had it in another reading class. Is matar. What is matar? Rain. Naam, ahsan. But this one comes from a verb amtara. 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 What is amtara? Amtara is to rain. Okay, to make it rain. And when you say mumtiru, this is one that is doing that rain action. This is your ismu fa'il. Inshallah, we'll learn them. So bottom line, it comes from this verb amtara yumtiru. Okay, yumtiru. Yumtiru. To rain. So as-sama'u mumtiratun, that means the sky is the one that is pouring down the rain. And again, we have Tamar Buddha because it's feminine. Then we have al-hadiqatu jamila. Very simple sentence. The garden is beautiful. Okay, yanqati'u al-matar. Yanqati al-matar. So that's the word I talked about, which is rain. So what is inqata'a? Okay, the verb is inqata'a. Inqata, yanqati'u. It means to, the main primary meaning is to something to be cut off. Be cut off. So you have to know, sometimes you have to know the main primary meaning. Then when we have the secondary meaning, you will appreciate how the meaning is being applied here. Okay, so the inqata means to be cut off, to be disrupted. Okay, so this is why we get the meaning to be stopped. So something that is, if being cut off, it being stopped. So we say yanqati'u al-matar. That means the rain is stopped or is stopping because it's present tense. Then we have yasiru sahab. So what is yasiru and what is sahab? First of all, what is sahab? Sahab is what? Cloud. Ahsan. Very good. Cloud. There's another word which you probably have seen before. Anybody knows? By the way, the plural is suhub. Suhub. And there's another word which is ghaim. Ghaim and ghuyum means cloud. But what does yasiru means? What does it yasiru means? It's from the verb sara yasiru. So this verb has meaning, all of them kind of similar thing, is to go, to move, to march. So all of this meaning will come. So when you say yasiru sahab, that means the clouds are moving. Then we have tatlu'u ash-shams. So that's the verb. Now we just had this verb in the beginning. It came as ism fa'il prospective. Now it's giving us the present tense. Remember, we learned them ism fa'il and present tense verb. They give us the same meaning. Okay, they give us the same meaning. So last time we had what? طالعاتun. This is the ism fa'il. طالعاتun. That means it is risen. So now we have the verb طلع يطلع. We have تطلع because of this femininity here. So that means we can say the sun is rising. Now we can say sun rises, but maybe rising would make more sense. You can also translate sun is appearing because when it rises from the edge, it starts to appear. تجف الأرض. From the jaffa now, jaffa yajifu, it means to be what? To be what? To be dry. So what's happening? The earth is drying up. Okay, earth is drying up. And one thing you'll note, I found these authors are very good and clever that they will repeat some of the words plenty of time. Sometimes within the same lesson, sometimes you'll find the same words coming in a few lessons later. So this is amazing if you're really, really serious about, this is your intermediate book. So if you really master this book with regards to its grammar and also the words, you're set to study more advanced stuffs. Then we have الطائر فوق الشجرة. The bird is above the tree. يقطف or يقطف, I think it's يقطف. قطف يقطف. علي الأزهار. So this is the plural of زهراء. Okay, زهراء. So what's Ali is doing? Ali is picking the flowers. Now, يلعب الغلمان بالكرة. So what is غلمان? It is a plural. I'll give you that clue. Any word comes to your mind? Servant. Okay, good. You guys are, yes. It comes from ghulam. Ghulam, the standard meaning is boy, which is like usually considered as young boy. The secondary meaning is what some of you are writing, which is servant. Servant. Okay, so this would be plural. It has another plural, ghilma. Another plural is ghilma with tamarbuta. So يلعب الغلمان بالكرة. So يلعب لعب يلعب, it is common verb, is to play. So the boys are playing with what? What are they playing with? Ball. Now, very good. Then we have ينزل المطر من السماء. It is verb, right? Comes in the Quran so much. نزل ينزل. It means what? To come down. It's not the same thing as anzala. Anzala is to make something come down. So here we say yanzilul mataru, the rain is coming down, minasama, from the sky. Tusiru, see, subhanallah, we just learned the verb, sara yasiru. So now the same verb is coming. Tusiru sufun, what is sufun? Safina. So safina is ship, yes, ship. So sufun is the plural. So what's moving, what's marching, what's going? The ships are going where? Fil bihar. What is bihar? It is also plural. Plural for what? Bahar. Naam. Bahar is sea and bihar is the plural. Very good. Subhanallah, we have so much. Because I want to read the exercises just for the sake of translating, honestly, because I want to make sure you guys are comfortable with the words. But what we wanted to do, what we needed to do is very simple, right? We have to find out how many words we have and these things which you can do. But there's no point of counting words and you don't know what these words mean. It doesn't make any sense. Then it says ميز الجمل المفيدة في التراكيب الآتية. So to distinguish the complete sentences from the following tarkib. Here, they're just saying the tarkib in a sense that something that is composed doesn't have to be a complete. You just put some words together, then you have a tarkib. Now, whether it is a complete sentence or not, that is your job in this exercise. Mayyiz, distinguish, to find out. So let's see. The first one says ليس الجو. What is جو? Joe is what? Weather. Now, so ليس الجو. Does it make sense? Is it a complete sentence? The weather is not. What is Laisa? Here we say not. The weather is not. Do you say it's complete sentence? No, it's not a complete sentence. Then we say akala faridun. Akala is to eat. Akala ya'kulu. Farid is the name of a person. So we say the farid ate. Is it a complete sentence? This one is tricky. Is it a complete sentence? Interesting. Good. Your answer is right, but some people might get confused because if we say Farid ate, what's the problem with this? Yes. So the issue is this verb is muta'addi. It is a transitive verb. Okay, it is a transitive verb. So it needs maf'ul bihi. Inshallah, we'll talk about these things in this book as well. But otherwise, you might get confused. Why it's not a complete sentence? It needs an object. Now, so you have to say he ate what? But although, remember, from the context, we don't have to say this. So, for example, if somebody asks you who ate the apple, then he can say, Akala Farid. Farid, he ate. Now, the context is there, just like what he explained in the beginning, that there is actually fil haqiqa, in the reality, there is another word. We're just not pronouncing it. Why? Because from the context. But here, if somebody just said like that, we don't have any context. So we cannot make it into a complete sentence. Then we have al-qitaru sari'un. Qitar is what? Train. Sari' is what? Fast. Now, is this one a complete sentence? Yes or no? Naam, ahsantu. It is a complete sentence. In ijtahatta. In is if. Ijtahatta. Strived. For you. Masculine second person. If you strived. Is it a complete sentence? No. We need to know what comes after if. Then we have ليت المريض. ليت المريض. Later is an expression, inshallah. We'll also learn this one. Later is an expression of saying something that you wish, something that is very difficult to come about. And marid is the person who is sick. So if you say the sick wish something or hope for something, then we don't know what he's hoping for. He has to say shafa. He is hoping for a cure. So this is not a complete sentence. This one is not a complete sentence. This one was a complete sentence. This is not. Then we have Al-Kitabul Ladhi, the book which, we don't know book is what. It's not a complete sentence. Al-Bintu Al-Muta'allima. Al-Bintu Al-Muta'allima, the learned daughter, or you can say as a girl, somebody who is so educated. You can think about educated. Educated, that is better. Okay, educated girl. What about it? We don't know. So it's not a complete sentence. So subhanallah, how do I miss always something here? So we have athawbu nadhifun. What is athawb? Thawb is cloth or garment. Okay, cloth. Nadhif is clean. Is it a complete sentence? Thawb is a singular. Thiyab is a plural. Yes, this one is complete. So far, subhanallah, looks like we have only two. Let me quickly check the answer. And once you do this, that's what you should be doing. Look into the answer, make sure you have them right. So what was the number? Number was 3. We go to the 3. Yes, we only have 2. Okay, only 2. So that one, akala farid, is not a complete sentence. Now, we'll probably just do next one and then we'll wrap up. It says اجعل كل مثال من أمثلة الآتية جملة مفيدة. Make from each example a complete, from the following examples, a complete sentence. بوضع, by putting كلمة ملائمة, a appropriate, suitable word في المكان الخالي, in the empty space. So for these things, we can just directly go to the answers and just translate, right? So for example, it says al-usfur, then we have gap here, and then it says qafaz. So usfur, we know usfur is spiral, the bird. We can just translate as a bird. The bird is ta'ir, but usfur is a specific type of bird. Anybody knows? Is it sparrow? I think so. And then qafas. What is qafas? Cage. Now, so just think about what you want to say here from English perspective. You have the bird and you have a cage. What do you want to say? What's missing? In. Nam. So you just say fi. Not all of them will be that easy. This type of examples requires you thinking. This one might be also easy. Al-waladu akala al-fakiha or ya'kulu. Doesn't matter. You can say akala or ya'kulu. What is fakiha? Huh? Fruit. What is the plural? Fawakih. Fawakih. Comes in the Quran so many times. Huh? الثور. What is thawr? الثور يحرث الأرض. The ox does what? Haratha yahrithu, it means to cultivate or plow the land. So for these things, we can just directly come here. See, al-usul fi al-qafas, al-waladu ya'kulu al-fakiha, al-thawr yahrithu. So subhanallah, I thought it's yahrus, it's yahruthu. I have to note this to myself. Haratha yahruthu, to plow. Al-waladu al-muhadhab. What is muhadhab? Hadhaba is to be what? To refine something, refine. But when you say muhadhab here, al-waladu al-muhadhab, yeah, you can think about refined boy, but in reality it means well-mannered. Mannered. Someone who is very mannered, yes, he's very refined. Mahbub. Mahbub is, that means somebody who is loved. So this is not the one who's loving, it is someone who is loved. I will just finish this two and then we will leave the rest for the homework. Yes, very good. That's what I'm feeling. So the first lesson, I'm trying to see how long it takes to do all of them. And also, I do feel like maybe we should do some, not all of them, a good portion of it, at least maybe for each exercises, let's say 2 or 3 examples now, instead of going through all of them. And one of the reasons why I'm trying to go through all of them is the vocabs. The vocabs is something important, but something other than that, like the one that he's asking you to make a sentence, I'm not going to go through them. So let's just do next 2 and then we will wrap up. الحذاء الضيق متعب. الحذاء الضيق. What is حذاء? حذاء is what? Shoe. ضيق. ضيق is something that is tight. Okay, ضيق can means like suffocating, tight. It has this kind of meaning. متعب is like tiring or difficult, or something that is uncomfortable. It would be opposite of مريح. مريح, which is something that is comfortable. So it is tiring. القمر في السماء. The moon is in the sky. So that's what we have so far. Okay, the other ones, inshallah, you can read them. Basically here, he wants for each one of this word, he wants you to use 2 words to make up a sentence, not more than 2. You use this one of this word and only use 2 words to make a sentence. But this one, he wants you to make أكثر من كلمتين. So he wants you to use 3 or more. So he did not say you have to use 3, but he wants you to use 3 or more. So that is our lesson number 1. This book is pretty amazing. I love this book. It is the perfect book to study after Modena Bukan 2, or after studying Al-Kitab Al-Asasi with me, the way we went.